Welcome back to another episode in Circular Reptile Room. I'm T-Ray, this is my ball python Urza, and today we're going to be going over snake handling and what you need to know before you start. I hope you enjoy. Before we handle our snakes, the first thing we really need to know is when not to handle them. Number one, most important time not to handle your snake is just after feeding. So I give her about 48 hours after we feed our ball python Urza here before I actually handle her. The reason for this is because it's really easy for them to regurgitate their meals. When they eat we feed her rats, when they go in, their claws are facing backwards, going down her body. So if she regurgitates it, the claws can come up and they can scratch up the inside of their bellies and their throats and stuff like that. And if that happens, you're going to have to wait 3 to 4 weeks before you can feed them again, because they're going to have to heal on the inside. Now, if they regurgitate, don't panic. Just wait that time and they will be fine. But it's best not to handle them for at least 24 hours, up to 48 hours, and some people even go 72. We do 48 here. Alright, the next big moment that we really don't want to handle our snake just too much is during shedding. Whenever your snake is shedding, they're going to be getting shed over their eye caps. Hopefully she's not shedding right now, so you can see her eyes are kind of black if she'll stop moving long enough so you can see her in the camera. So if it turns white, if you see their eye caps going white, then what's happening is they're getting ready to shed and they can't see you clearly. And they won't be able to make out whether you're a predator or whether you're you. This can make them slightly defensive. Ball pythons really aren't known to be very defensive if you're getting one of those. But other snakes can be, and ball pythons can be too. It's just not very common. So just watch out for the eye caps. If they're shedding, just leave them be. Come back later after they're done shedding. Alright, so this next one's not so much of don't handle them, it's just take care of something beforehand, and that is we do not want to smell like their food before we handle them. Now, they do have heat pits, pythons do. You can, if I can get her head up here, I can kind of show you. So you can see on her nose here how she's got all those little pits, so those are heat pits, so she'll be able to sense your body heat. But the one thing that lets her know that you're not food is you can tell she's smelling a lot with her tongue. She can tell I'm not food, so she's not going to come after me. Now if you've just handled rats and you fed something else, or sometimes even if you handle a little bit of meat, chicken, something like that, you can smell like food. An easy way to really solve this is number one, wash your hands before handling them. Or you can do like us, we keep hand sanitizer next to all the tanks, mainly because we have a boa right next to our ball python, and there are diseases that ball pythons don't handle as well as the boa, and we just want to make sure we don't transfer those if we ever wind up having to handle them back to back. So, but just clean your hands first and they will do amazing for you. Alright guys, so we really want to get into handling our ball python right now. So the first thing and the most nerve-wracking thing for a lot of new owners is getting your ball python out of the enclosure. Now you can see we got ours in the hide right now. She's really calm, she's not hissing at me, we know that she's calm. But the first thing that we're going to need to do to get the ball python out is we're going to have to remove the hide. Now the snake's not really going to like this, but they're probably going to be in the hide whenever you go to pick them up, and that's just where they're going to be. Alright, second thing, you're a new owner, so I can see that her head is over here on the back side. I can see that her tail is right here. So what I want to do is find about the middle third of her body, which is about right here, and I'm going to go in with my hand underneath and I want to pick her up, and then I'm going to grab the back third of her body with my other hand and now I've got her picked up. She can support the front third of her body by herself. So that's how we pick them up. No tools or anything like that. And I'm making sure that her head's pointed away from me, because that's the way y'all probably want to start. And handling them inside their enclosure like this is a great way to really get them comfortable with you. And you can kind of stay right here on the back third of their body, especially if they're a calm snake like this. And we're just going to let them kind of try to pull away from us, okay? Once you start getting more comfortable, we can start going closer to the head until we feel comfortable enough to be all the way to the front of their body. And honestly, if they're acting as calm as she is right now, then you're not going to have any issue at all. Now, the other way to do this, if you're a little bit more nervous about handling, maybe you haven't held a snake before, is you can use a snake hook. We're just going to use, I got this paint roller handle here. Oh, see, she's trying to go back into a hiding stance. Even though she's comfortable with me, she just wants to hide. So you can see it's got a rounded edge on it, so it's not going to hurt her. And it's got a nice wide base for the snake to sit in. So I'm going to come into the snake here. There's the head. I'm going to find the middle third of their body. I'm going to kind of pick it up with that. Use my hand for that, and then move my snake hook up. And now I got her picked up with the snake hook. It's not as comfortable, especially for a big body snake like this. So you don't really want to use the snake hook very long. You want to eventually set the snake hook down and start using your hands again. The snake hook is just good for getting her out. What you're going to do with your snake once you're outside of the enclosure, what I would suggest is go and sit down on the floor with her, or sit on the couch, or floor is better because you can kind of make sure that there's a few things on the floor that she can kind of crawl over and grab. Because right now, the only thing that makes her feel really comfortable is that she can wrap around me. And whenever you're on the floor with her and you're interacting with her, I say her because this is a girl, this is Ursa. So let her chill out with her, continually put your hands on her, and just work up your courage to get up to the front of her body like this right here. And you can see, if you hear noise in the background, I have two tegus that are really wanting out of their tank right now. We will do videos on them in the future. If you would really like that, comment and subscribe. But right now, we're on snakes. Beautiful girl. She's a Mojave, by the way. If anybody wonders, she is a Mojave. That's kind of getting started. Now that's a snake about this size. What I'm about to show you is my small boa. She's still a baby, so she acts more defensive than this one, but she's really not. So let's look into a slightly more defensive, much smaller snake and how you would handle this. This is Nami, the boa constrictor. So we can see that she's kind of laid out. It looks like she's in a striking stance to a lot of people, but she's really not. That's just kind of how she lays. Even if I touch her tail right here, you can see she's just looking at me. She's not S-ing at me. She's not hissing at me. She's not growling at me. So she's nice and calm. Right here's a good middle 1/3 of her body for me to pick her up. So I'm probably going to go a little bit higher just so she doesn't have to support so much empty weight. I'm keeping her head away from me. Alright, she's starting to come back now. And I've got her successfully picked up. Now, this is not how you want to handle them for long periods of time. So, what you would do if you're not comfortable is you go and you'd lay them somewhere like this. Keep a hand on them. It's just so that they're getting used to your touch, you're getting used to their touch. Alright, there's the tegu. He's dying for attention. And then once you're done handling them, it's the same exact thing. middle 1/3, and the back 1/3. She's supporting everything else. Of course, she's super friendly. I mean, I have no problem letting her chill however she wants on me. I'm trying to let her come look at the camera, but she's a little bit harder to manipulate. She's not very old. She's a Guyana Boa Constrictor, true red tail. Cool fact is, if you've heard of the Surinames, the only thing that's really separating these guys is a river in South America with Guyana on one side and Suriname on the other. So they're very closely related to the Surinames. Last parting piece of knowledge here is these snakes are not out to get you, okay? You're in an adjustment period when you first get a snake. The snake's going to be getting used to you, and you're going to be getting used to the snake. Depending on where you're at in reptile care and snake care, some more than others. If you have any concerns about the housekeeping of your snake, about handling your snake, you have a defensive snake, and you just want somebody to bounce ideas off of, guys, go into the comments section. Let's keep them positive. And if I have enough time, I'm going to be getting on to every single one of those comments and trying to answer your questions the best of my ability. And if I can't answer it right off the bat, I'll contact people who do. So just know, snakes are amazing pets. They're actually very good at de-stressing you in the afternoons whenever you get home from work, because they're very slow moving. They're like this. She wants to go on the floor and try to get underneath everything that she can. Just know they're amazing pets. If you're thinking about getting a snake, you're getting an amazing pet, and I think you're making a great decision. Just do your research first. Learn heat, humidity, hides, tank size, what kind of cost you should be expecting, what kind of food they eat, because not all of them eat rats. Once again, the tegus are going crazy in the background. I'm so sorry. But if you have any questions, please comment. And if you enjoyed the video and it helped you, subscribe, like us, and keep an eye open for more videos. Thank you.